This is the most insane exploit in Season 11 that finally works for all of the trading companies. This exploit got me 107 raid items in less than 15 minutes of doing it. Yes, actually raid items. Like I said, these aren't just the regular old items, the company raid items for each company, which are even better than you could ever imagine for reputation and gold. Also, unlike most other exploits, you can do this for any company you would like. Before I get started, I'm trying to make it to 2,500 subscribers, and if you could help me reach that goal, it would mean a lot to me. Also, the main section of this exploit was brought to my attention by this commenter on the video I posted yesterday, so thank you very much to them for helping me find this. This exploit involves diving to a sea fort and using a different sea fort's treasury key to get as much raid loot as you would possibly ever like. To start this, you need to pick which trading company you're going to do this for, and put up the emissary to maximize profit. Next, you must dive to the sea fort raid voyage for that trading company. Now, once you come out of the water, you pop up from diving and you arrive at the fort, you're actually going to leave. You're going to leave this one, and you're going to head towards any other fortress on the map. Probably the one closest to you, but if for some reason you can't, just any other fortress on the map. Make sure you know which one is the original one, so you can come back to it after you finish this step. Also, side note, if you are in either of these two on the southwest side of the map, this will be so much faster for you because you can just go to the sea fort like 2 islands over. After you have arrived at a sea fortress other than the one you dove to, go ahead and complete it, but do not open that treasury. Instead, you're going to take that treasury key back to your boat and head back to the original fort that you dove to, which you should either remember or have marked on your map. You should be able to take your newly acquired treasury key and open the treasury back at the original fort you dove to. You can now either stack the loot wherever you want, but I went ahead and just stacked mine in the vault. Just make sure to move every piece so that the next set of loot can fully spawn. After you've moved all the loot, let the phantoms kill you. You do not want to kill any of them, and you do not want to complete this fort until you're done with your exploit, because if you finish the fort, the exploit will cease to work. After you die, all of the treasury and storeroom loot, if you choose to unlock that as well, will be respawned and you can keep stacking and repeating. There are tons of things you need to watch out for while doing this though, so let me walk you through those and give you the layout before I cut you loose to just go try this. I also want to give you guys how much you can make per hour so you guys can decide if this is worth it for you. The first thing you want to watch out for is reapers or hostile ships, as you will be sitting at your sea fort for a while. You may also try and tuck your ship in a little bit behind it to avoid conflict. And also, you will be dead most of the time you are there. So just make sure to keep an eye on the horizon in that map table so you don't get a surprise visitor. Even if you're amazing at PvP, you can't really defend if you are dead. If you are solo, I recommend that you only do the bottom vault, as it seems just more time efficient to me, but I guess you could do it however you want. But if you have more than one person, it's a no-brainer to have someone do the storeroom respawning as well every time. This method is honestly most optimized with 2 people, as any more than that it just takes longer to die, and the only thing that those more than 2 people would be really super helpful for is loading the loot at the end of your stacking adventure. If you are looking to count the number of items you will get from the vault, is 7, and the storeroom you get 2. So if for some reason you're trying to figure it out, maybe you just want to figure out how many items you have before you sell or something, just count how many times you die, and every time you grab the vault, add a 7. Every time you grab the storeroom, add a 2. That'll tell you how many items you got. If you are at Mercy's End Fortress, this one near Kraken's Fall and Ancient Spire Outpost, there is an extra hidden exploit at this fortress specifically. For some reason, you can complete this fort, and it always respawns Order of Souls loot, no matter what emissary you're doing it for. I discovered this when trying to find an Athena's exploit like last week. So if you are doing this for Order of Souls and you feel like it, you could just complete this fort normally and do it after the phantoms are all dead and just stay at this fort, but just make sure you're at this specific fort because that's the only one I've been able to make this work at. Once you pop up in the water, right at first when you dive to it, check the original fortress first. If someone did this method before you, they may have left their key after finishing the fort somewhere on the fort where you could easily see it, which is completely skipping the longest step, and you could just go straight into getting your loot. And yes, I have already heard stories of this happening before I make this video, and I'm sure after this video drops, it will only become more common. This is a quick demo of me doing this method, and then after that, I will give you the final stats and the potential for how good this exploit can be. First, I put up my emissary quest and dove for my sea fort. After I surfaced, I marked my fort on the map, that way I could keep track of which one it was, and it was Mercy's End Fortress. I then headed to the closest other fortress that I felt comfortable going to, and completed that other fortress. put the key on my boat, and headed back to the original one. All I had to do then was open the treasury, and I stacked all the loot in this specific corner because, fun fact, phantoms can't come in here, so I just stack them there until after I finish the fort, in which the phantoms won't be around to bother me. Then I died and just kept going, and I actually only stacked for 15 minutes. I was able to do 1 respawn and stack per minute, so this means after only 15 minutes of stacking, I was able to get over 100 raid items solo from this. Now that does not include the time that it took me to sail up to that other one and come back down. This is just 15 minutes of doing the exploit portion. After I was done, I did the long task of solo loading the loot onto my boat, and I headed to sell. Now, of course, once I got there, I spent some time setting up a screenshot, but you do not have to do that, so I'm not even going to include that time in my total time. I then sold all my loot. From this 15-minute stack, it took me, I think, 25 minutes, 30 minutes to go actually grab the other key because it was quite far away. But after the 15 minutes of stacking, I gained 4 levels of Athena's Fortune, which is pretty crack, and we've done this for Order of Souls. I did it a different time doing Order of Souls duos with my friend, and we got 15 levels in under an hour doing this method, so it's just insane crazy. The total setup time, like I said, was about 20 to 30 minutes, and after that you can get about 10 raid items per minute, and maybe even more if you are not solo. If you have a duo, you could probably get more. The total reputation in gold is honestly just going to range per hour based off what MSR you decide to do, so I can really only give you the amount of items you're going to get, and you're just going to have to pick which one you're doing it for, because it's just going to be different for all of them. After setting this up, you can get about 500 raid items per hour at about maximum efficiency. That's assuming you're doing it about as efficiently as you could possibly do it. I will also say, out of the kindness of my heart, I decided to leave my treasury key that I got from finishing the fort right next to the treasury door for one of you guys to find. If you guys see it at Mercy's End Fortress, just know it came from me. I also suggest that you guys do the same thing, and if we all start doing this, it'll be extremely likely that if you show up at one of the forts that there will just be a key there already and you won't even have to do the first step. So maybe we can get that train going and make this exploit even quicker. If you guys have any tips or other exploits, please let me know in the comments, and I will definitely credit you for them because that is awesome. You guys have been helping me out so much with making these exploits just better and all this stuff, so I just really appreciate it if you guys would do that. And as I said at the beginning, I'm trying to make it to 2,500 subscribers, and it would mean a lot if you help me get there. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.